I think we're at a watershed moment for cyberspace.
If you fast forward like 50 years down the road, future historians would look back and go, you know, there was that time in the 1990s and 2000s when citizens of the Earth built this open distributed network and everyone could communicate with each other freely, and then it all shut down through censorship, surveillance, and militarization.
We live in a surveillance state. Increasingly, consumers are using services provided to them for free. And that business model has the unintended side effect of facilitating easy, cheap, wholesale surveillance.
Both law enforcement folks as well as military folks say you might be part of a terror network, therefore everything has to be monitored.
I see a real danger of the state casting itself in the role of protector and being seen as the enemy of the people.
It looks like we have two sides. So there's a side of governments that support openness, and the other side is governments where they have black boxes.
The approach to digital security has to be comprehensive, and we have to empower citizens as opposed to what some of these authoritarian regimes are trying to do, which is to disempower people and to not allow them to have control over their own lives and the tools in their hands.
We have to defend freedom of expression. Freedom of expression goes hand in hand with privacy. And I believe that freedom of internet is the biggest contribution to peace in the world.
I work with a group of people in Morocco who were targeted by a software called Da Vinci.
A number of these, what I call digital arms or heavily intrusive systems, have a label made in Europe or made in the United States.
The digital arms trade is big business, and that means it won't stop.
What used to be our global commons of information has become ground zero for intelligence agencies and military organizations around the world.
If one side says, I'm building a national internet from which I can attack people, the rest of the world doesn't really have a choice. We are going to have to fight this out on a national basis.
National security is important, but it's problematic when governments re-engineer a resource that the whole world uses for communication and for organization.
I think you're all running out of time, because the next really unpleasant event will cause people like me to pay a great deal more attention to the issue of cyber controls, and no one will like the results.
I think the future of cyberspace is not going to be determined by those of us living in Toronto or New York or even Silicon Valley, but by the next billion digital natives coming online from the global south. If we care about keeping cyberspace open and secure, we have to engage in a global dialogue.